You're welcome, everybody, to the third episode of the Pod-Diff podcast. It is your host, Vex, with the co-host, as always, Tusk. Hello, Tusk. How are you, sir?
I'm okay. How you guys doing?
I'm holding up, man. Another exciting week, if you could say that, of hot fixes, drops here and there. We got all kinds of stuff going on. The World
Oh yeah,
Cup,
the World Cup drops. Amazing. They look nice. I like them.
very exciting times. Very exciting times. No Overwatch League, unfortunately, but we are circumventing that with the World Cup.
Yeah,
And
we'll
even
cover
then, we'll have news with the Overwatch League regarding it,
Yeah.
rather.
Yeah, we'll have team changes and everything like that.
How you feeling, sir? You feeling good?
Yeah. I'm wonderful. My energy might seem low, but I'm doing a fantastic today. How are you doing?
Those who don't know, we just both actually got off vacation of a long weekend. So if energy levels are a little lower, still recuperating. Great time though.
I feel like I've been asleep for like 2 days straight already. I don't know why.
And I haven't slept, unfortunately. But I had to get crap done. I thought I lost my wallet, and it was with me the entire time. That's another story for a different time.
Hey, at least you found it. That's good.
That's the best part. Should we jump into the hot fixes?
Yeah. So the hot fixes are Alec Dawson, who is the lead hero designer of Overwatch 2, he's the one that tweeted these hot fixes that are coming later this week. He says there's no date, but it's just adjustments for Lifeweaver, Mei, Casti. Lifeweaver gets a Thorn Valley buff, which is just his primary fire DPS. They said the latest changes to him at the beginning of season 5 made him much better baseline. He does have the highest ceiling of any support right now, so that's good. But he states he still has improvements in store for him down the road. We'll see how that is. Mei and Casti's adjustments are both in response to their CC, which is Cassie's nade and Mei's slow. They want to find more of a middle ground for Mei.
They came in a little strong with them.
Yeah, I knew that'd be broken. CC in this type of game can be the best thing in the world and the worst. It's annoying.
I think you brought up in the last episode when the Cassidy grenade change came specifically. You were like, as long as you can't stick people across the map and hinder them, and that's exactly what's happening. So they're gonna tune that back just slightly, so maybe it won't chase a tracer to their spawn door.
Yep. Mei's damage is going up on the prime fire and slow going down, which is just I think a buff for Mei, to be honest. I think the slow took too long to activate anyway. Damage would have been more appreciated. Casti's magnet grenade would have a slightly lower C radius and homing duration, which is exactly what the problem is with it. It will literally follow you for miles, and it will follow you. It will auto detect you a mile away also. So it's like you're gonna get hit now. It doesn't instantly kill you, and it's not an instant gonna make it so you get stuck. It works against tracers though. It also isn't as great against Sombra as I thought. But he's not bad. He's still really good. If you can figure out how to do the magnet grenade really nice, you can piss off every flanker there is. We'll see how that goes. But I like the changes. I don't hate them. I've been grinding Casti, so I like it. I don't know much about Mei though.
It's gonna be the simple thing. You're just gonna have to learn when to throw it. You're, like you said, you've been grinding, so you kind of got a feel for when you would throw the grenade. Now you're just gonna have to get used to it again. It's nothing crazy. Me on the other hand, I play a decent amount of Mei. I'm honestly, I wasn't after playing it, I'm not the biggest fan of the change. Not that's coming from the hotfix, but what we're currently playing on. I don't mind the slow, but I felt like I just wasn't providing enough for the team. Even if I were to cut a tank off or anything, I feel like I couldn't. You shouldn't be able to completely burst down a tank. Obviously, we all know that. But I feel like I was still struggling to put out quality damage.
That is a thing they said. Like a lot of the of course we follow the streamers and stuff like that, and they all talked about that. Like it felt like it's just a general nerf to Mei because the damage just it's hard to take away a lot of damage for a DPS. It's just like, well, I don't feel like I'm doing my job.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
do you like the changes that are coming?
Yeah, she needs to be able to put out, like, it's hard to justify how valuable the slow is in certain times.
Yeah.
Like, sure. it can be advantageous, but at the same time, you're like, if I could just do a little more damage, I can burst them down instead of having to slow them down.
Yeah.
It's really, it'll be interesting, because I played May before this change, I played May during it, and I'll play May after. So I'll get the feel and be able to kind of better explain myself on where I think which this is all opinionated, where I think she should be, or how strong I feel like she currently is.
Absolutely. I hope she plays nice. I think the changes to Cassie's good, and Lifeweaver is still probably the most niche support, so he still needs improvements. But
he's feeling better though, right?
Changes. He is feeling better, and his healing numbers are the highest of any support right now. So as long as he can pocket somebody, it's going to be hard to. Unless you burst someone down, it's hard to kill him now if he's pocketing them.
I suggested to you a couple days ago about possibly taking away his reload.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I feel like that could exponentially help him. I don't know if it could break. I don't know if you can break this character. It feels really hard to, because it feels like they're trying to. Usually the other way around, where the character comes out broken and you got to dial it back. His character feels like they're doing everything they can to be like, please play this character
without changing like the moves and like the abilities and everything. They're literally being like, we're just gonna push the numbers until they're outrageous and see what happens. And I don't think, with the complete lack of any offense besides a basic attack, I don't think there's a way to truly make him that broken unless you just make him insta heal you in one go.
It's nice to be at, like, we've played aside from the vacation, we've played a decent amount with the current patch. We're seeing a lot more, and obviously that's just people wanting to play him, but we're seeing a lot more where he feels more playable, where you're not worried that there's a Lifeweaver on your team. So I'm hoping this is a good thing to come. If I'm not mistaken, the changes his the spread, right, on his thorns. Does it specifically say?
It just says Lifeweaver to receive small thorn valley buffs. That is it.
I'm hoping so it's a choke on the spread. Yeah, I think that would help him a lot, because the thorns are already decently strong. And if you could dial in the recoil or the spread of the shots, you could beam down targets a lot easier.
Yeah, I think that'd be probably the best thing. I hope they say they have improvements in store from down the road, but I just don't know what it is. If it's not numbering adjustments.
I would like to see he like, obviously they made the change to where the triggers or whatever console system you would be playing on would be between healing and then the thorns, but there's still that like startup lag, just basically like you're switching weapons. I wish it was seamless, like how a Moira does.
Yeah, Moira.
I feel like that would help a whole lot and actually make his kit. Like, I've played minimal Lifeweaver, I'd say, and I do feel at times I'm like, okay, everyone should be topped up healing enough where I can shoot some thorns. But there's so much time burned in between switching to the thorns, shooting the thorns, reloading, and then trying to switch back. You have to pull, the actual healing out and start healing good. I feel like that's a lot of time wasted.
I agree with that, but I'm worried about how they programmed him. Like, is this the bare minimum they can do to reduce that without just completely reprogramming it to be like a Moira? Because I feel like they programmed it literally to be a different weapon. And it's like, but like, I don't know how it is to just switch it to be like Moira from a diff, except for like instead of being a different weapon. So I don't know what they could actually do. I don't know.
I feel like
it's a lot of
a slight oversight.
Yeah, I feel like it's all like literally in the background now to see what they can do. Because right now it's just going off of numbers. They was afraid to buff him too much because he might be too healing. He's like, well, we're just gonna do it anyway. Now he's still the best healing, or now he's the best healing. And they're probably just, like you said, they're gonna try to break him slowly and see at what point will he be worth the play. Like, because he's not a throw pick now, I wouldn't say, but he is still the most extreme niche character. As not someone on like any team I go like, you know what would be good right here? A Life Weaver.
Unless your tank's a random that
runs
that pushes a little too far in.
Yeah. And then like if the Life Weaver pulls them too far back, it's like, well, now we have no front line, so let's see how this goes.
Was that all for hotfixes?
Yeah,
I believe it was just Mabe, Cassidy, Weaver.
Yep. That's the only one.
There could be more. That's all he tweeted.
Yeah. He says he has a good amount of changes planned for Season 5 mid-season patch, but this is just a hotfix coming later this week.
People are amping up the mid-season patch. I don't have more on it specifically.
Yeah.
But I am excited for it.
Yep. I'm excited for it. We'll see what they do though. I think we have like what? Is it like 4 more weeks until that though?
Oh, we got some time. We're fresh into this new season.
Yeah, I think we're 2 weeks in. That's it. It's whatever. We'll find out later on.
Are you enjoying it? Enjoying the new season?
This season, yeah. The casty I've been playing the most, like by far. I like the CC. It helps a lot. The hindered, you can see why they thought CC was a bad thing. Because if this did anything more than like keep you from using movement abilities, it would be extremely broken. It might be on the broken side slightly. That's why they're nerfing it. Right now it is on broken side because of the homing, but I like it because it distinguishes Casty from the other hit scans, which he needs. Because if he didn't have it, I think every other hit scan would probably be a little bit better. But this makes him This makes him good against flankers the most. Good against Tracer, which is like always going to be a big thing until unless she ever gets reworked in a way that makes her not a nuisance in League.
That Tracer, I love Tracer to death. Tracer's always one of them characters. Same thing with Genji and a couple others, to where she'll always feel. She's either gonna feel like oppressing or she's gonna feel useless. That's kind of how they keep it. Like right now, she's been probably since Overwatch 2 came out. You'd say pretty solid, best flanker. Even throughout all the changes and crap like that, you could argue.
I mean,
maybe some Genji in there, you mix it in.
Yeah,
but she's been consistently good. And I do worry that with her being so consistently good, they'll kill her.
I think the same thing.
Dormant.
I think the same thing happened to Winston. Ever since, because they're still going off of the this is one tank metas now. And no matter what's happened in the league, with Jungle Queen's supposed to be super good, every Ram's supposed to be super good, Winston's still the pick. Winston's still the best dive. Winston's still this. Is it gonna pop up a season from now, or 2, 3, 4 seasons from now, and be like, you know what, Winston's been in every single league match. Maybe he's broken. And I'm afraid Tracy's gonna go the same road now, where one tank, the whole dynamic changes of what you're supposed to do, how you do it. I don't know what's going to happen, but I feel like the death of Winston and Tracy is just on the horizon.
Overwatch has always been one of those games where the devs will nerf or buff a character in the sake of changing the meta. They've done it they changed the entire system of how the game works for roll queue because Goats was so strong, and they completely changed of how you could play the game, of how it even functioned, just to change the meta because everybody found what they feel is the perfect thing. So now I think we're in a position where I think Sombra will receive significant nerfs. Tracer will receive significant nerfs. I think I can't name the next meta heroes. Obviously, I can't see the future, but I think we're gonna be running away from, like you said, a Winston Tracer meta.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a Sombra too. Like they're distinguished themselves as the best flanker dive team. Like what they're better than the rest is what they do, to the point where it's almost, as long as you do it super good, which the Overwatch League players are really good at it. This is just the best thing you do. If you're the best Winston in the world, you could literally just build your team around always being unless Winston gets super nerfed, always just playing a Winston game, and you're more likely gonna win. Like Houston Outlaws, fearless best Winston. They're second best just because of it. Just because of it. And the only reason they're second best is because the best has the Winston, has the best backline, and has the Sombra Sombra. It's like give Houston like the best Sombra, I feel like they would win. So I don't know. We'll see as the time goes on. Like I said, they'll change it if they see fit.
Speaking of the best, should we talk about some World Cup?
The World Cup.
So, little disclaimer: we haven't seen a whole lot, unfortunately. Like I said, we were both on vacation, so we're gonna be going off for like raw box scores and crap like that. We tuned in when we can, but we've both been busy.
We'll keep track of it more now. That's dialed down with us. There's only 3 more days of qualifiers, which is going to be Friday, July 30th, and Saturday, June 1st, and Sunday, June 2nd. Those are the last 3 days for the qualifiers, and we'll see. And after that, they'll release a schedule. They don't have any schedule out for after that, but that's what's going on. Right now, the only teams that we know are out of the qualifiers are China, who's been invited. They didn't have to participate in qualifiers. I don't know why.
Must be nice.
Yeah, I mean, like, most of their teams pros anyway, but still, like, kind of unfair. Do whatever.
Weird. I just wish there had been an official statement about it. Just something. It feels like it's like hey guys, World Cup, China's going in the back door.
Yeah, China's already invited. We'll see how it goes. I'm like, well, okay. What looks like America Group A is going to have 3. America Group B has 2. Europe and Middle East Group A has 3. Group B has 2. Group A for Asian Pacific has 3. And Group B has 2. Which they haven't released who's actually qualified yet. We can go off the matches, but I'm just going to tell you like the best one for each group that are most likely to make it. So like United States, Brazil, Japan, South Korea falling close behind. Japan's won 3 and lost none. South Korea's won 2 and lost none. So like, it's just because they have only played so many matches. India and Australia are tied right now. France, 4 wins in a row. They have won 8 maps and lost 1, so they're actually good. Saudi Arabia has won 8 maps, lost 1. They're 4 wins in a row, and that's the only teams that I'd probably say are almost guaranteed, if not guaranteed, to go to the past the qualifiers. The wild card, though, we have 6 wild card teams already announced. It's they had the wild card challenges, which is the Denmark, Ireland, Portugal, Finland, Switzerland, United Arab Emirates. So those are your 6 wildcard teams. They did some competition. The wildcard challenge update. Okay, it happened like later last month. I couldn't actually tell you anything about most of the teams.
Yeah, like I said, unfortunately, it was just terrible timing. And it's a lot of Overwatch to skim through. We've seen some things.
We've seen
it. The U.S. is doing some trolling.
A lot of trolling. I've seen a lot of hate from on Twitter, and I've seen some.
I'm one of those people, and I sound like such an old head. like with any kind of sport, but like I've competed in the past, and I've always said that if you're gonna beat me, just beat my tail. If I'm just not supposed to be, I'm not. But don't clown me. You know what I mean? Let's get this over with. Don't clown me.
They're switching out their tank player in a DPS spot and DPS and tank spot. Like the only ones I think have played their roles consistently is like the supports for the US.
And like I get it, you know, we're all the games already can be annoying at times. They're all a lot of streamers involved. We're trying to be entertaining, especially if the game is already guaranteed. But I don't know. Personally, I've always felt like those matches are when it's your time to get better. And if the other team is just trolling you, I wouldn't even want to get them play if I knew.
Yeah, if I'm just gonna
get trolled the entire time.
Yeah. If all of a sudden the best tank player in the world's just playing support, I'm like, why am I here? Why? If I beat you, even if I stand up and beat you for some reason, I'm like, is that really a victory? I just beat you on your off rolls. Like, what does that matter? And I'm like,
then you're just wasting time, right? Because now we've won. Now we're going to extra map, and then you're gonna put everybody on their correct rolls,
proper stuff, and then we go again. I'm like, can you just not waste my time?
I see the other side of the coin. Like, well, you guys should be better. But at the same time, those are the perfect times to get better. I've always thought that when you're to get better in anything in life, you got to get your tail beat. You just do. It's just what it is. You gotta play against better competition, and the better competition trolling you and picking off rolls and stuff like that, you don't get to grow from that, unfortunately.
Yeah. And we're saying this all, and what's bad is they're 3-0, like they've won 3, lost none. They've won 6 maps and lost 1 map. Like they're like the best in their group.
Oh no, they're good. I get it. I would love to see them. Yeah, I would how Atlanta did in the pro-am and then the season 4. Like every other team, like you seen Houston had kind of goofed off and maybe even lost a map. Atlanta was like, nah, we're playing every game like it's a serious game. Because that's what you want to see. You want to see the actual competition. You want to see, even if it's a 3-0, if it's boring, I still prefer to see the best product available. And I'm speak. This is all my personal opinion. You can feel however you want to about it, but that's just how I see it.
Absolutely, I understand. It's one of those. It feels bad because it's like this is the World Cup and you're not taking it serious, but at the same time, them not taking serious, it hasn't lost them anything. So it's like, I wish it'd backfire them and them just lose a match. I think I wish
wake them up a little bit.
Yeah, like I think Mexico could beat them. Like honestly, I have like maybe Canada, Puerto Rico, Costa Rica, something. I don't know, but the qualifiers are almost done.
And then once that's over, we'll see them actually lock in. You would assume, right?
Yeah, I don't think they can go against South Korea, Japan, France, Saudi Arabia, off rolling and expect to win. Like Saudi Arabia is going literally 4-0, France going 4-0. You can't lock in off rolls and be like, oh, we're the best. Like no, you'll get punished. Stop joking around if you want to win. But it is what it is. I think the other thing I've heard about actually a couple more. The next team is Saudi Arabia. I want to talk about because teams have been trolling them. Because Saudi Arabia has a very anti homosexual laws, stuff like that. So a lot of the teams have been trolling them. By every team that go against Saudi Arabia would pick a pride flag kind of thing. And
you'd love to see it.
I thought that's funny. I'm like, yeah, it's what it is. I don't like that the countries and very against that. And
just gross.
Yeah. Saudi Arabia has literally won 8 maps and lost 1. They're 4-0 winning.
We'll be seeing them continuing, unfortunately.
Yeah, they're gonna keep going.
I don't think it's anything towards the players. It's just
it's just the country. I think
yeah.
I don't. Especially watching Yazan's streams and stuff like that. They don't ever say anything bad. They're not over here literally cussing or anything like that against people. It's really, maybe it's just religion and stuff like that. Yeah, in the country, it's a lot of things probably out of their control. That's why they get a little bit hated. There are other people that it's fully under control because someone's been banned recently for for saying derogatory terms and just being cruel and mean to like a trans streamer or caster.
I believe it was a caster.
Yeah, caster, and they're Overwatch is
caught
like
live, and they laid the hammer quick.
Yeah, it's like you're banned from
sad that
they
were even there to begin with, honestly.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
at least it was caught. They were set out the way.
Yeah, instantly there's like, yep, you're banned for anything we do. Don't try to do it again. You're out.
People are gross.
Yep. They jumped on it as soon as I could.
I'm glad.
I appreciate that. Yep.
Overwatch is shown to be lax at certain times in the past. It was nice to see that, and then obviously another case we'll speak on here in a little bit.
Yeah.
They came jump through pretty quick with it.
I don't really have much more to say about the World Cup. I hope the best for most teams. I think there's gonna be great matches.
Competition coming up, and then we'll be able to share more about once the qualifiers done and who actually qualifies. That's exciting.
Yeah.
I guess we'll go towards the league.
Yeah, the league it is.
We've had some big pickups, big drops.
Yep.
Set up for a exciting second half of the season.
Yep. In the past 7 to 8 days, we've had 7 teams do roster changes in some way that I know of. I might be forgetting one. If so, you can leave in the comments. Like, keep us up if you know. If you have something to say, please leave in comments. Like, subscribe, of course. I think we can start with Vegas. Vegas has had the most changes by far.
Huge change. I'm excited.
Yeah,
proud of you, Vegas.
Yeah, I think they might not be the worst team. They might be Valiant. So apparently, 2U, Irony, and Knife joined the team. If you didn't know, like they were contenders teams, or Knife was in 02. Irony was part of 02. And 2U was part of the Sin Priza Gaming, which was in part of the contenders.
2U was also a
pro.
Where we at? I don't know.
Yeah, Soul Dynasty.
Soul,
a Soul Dynasty. So these are ex-pros and or just great contender players. They're actually
a huge shift. Now I don't from the outside, like we don't have any inside sources. We ain't got the leaks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was a huge change that I didn't or outside of the rumors right before it happened, I did not see coming. I thought this team was gonna be okay with being I was gonna say mediocre, but bad. As you know, no disrespect intended, but bad.
They were bad. They were the worst team. Gets the bad tag. Sadly.
So to actually see them like, hey, turn the season around, because it's not over.
No, it's not.
It's exciting.
They could literally come up and at least be known as like, because you don't want to be the team that breaks the record for most losses.
No.
And they have a chance to do it. Yeah, they have a chance to do it. So they could literally be good. They could literally like win a map now, hopefully. But in picking those 3 up, but they also let go Vulcan, Mithril, and Lucamino. I might be mispronouncing Malthor. Thank you. I was like, I know that's wrong. Yeah, Malthor, Vulcan, and Lucamino have been released from the team.
All great guys, as far as I'm aware. We have to say that with the asterisks now. Unfortunate, but if it's another thing, it's like it's not working. Same thing what we said with Toronto Defiant, America Tornado, whatever you want to call it. It's not working. Something has to change.
Yeah, it's no hate to the players. It's just nothing's. It's not clicking. So it's like we something has to change.
This could be an opening for them. We could see Malthul, Vulcan, and them go to in their team and shine. For all we know, it's just
together
some pieces don't work. Great. Exactly.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll see them go someplace. If they can't find a pro team, I'm sure contenders teams wouldn't mind picking them up. They're not like. They are the worst team, of course, but like individually, they've had things they could do that like shows they're deserving of at least continuous
I
teams.
hope they take it as a stepping stone. I know it's hard to say because, like, crap, I just lost my job. You know what I mean? But,
Yeah,
like, hey, let's get better. You know what I mean? Let's grind. Let's actually put this work in.
Yeah. So right now, their active player roster for Vegas is Dove, DPS, Knife DPS, Rack Attack, Irony on support, and 2U is the tank.
That's weird. I didn't even think about that. 2U was a DPS player, if I'm not mistaken. He played Genji on Soul. So could you fact check me? Is that possible?
Diva. He shows that his signature heroes are Diva, Sigma, and Zarya.
I might be confusing him with somebody else, but I could have swore he was a Genji expert.
It says he's always been. It says he's just a tank player. You know how on Wikipedia they show like on the roll they give you tank, because some are tank and DPS players and they'll show that, but this one just says tank. I'm not sure. It doesn't show he's played anything else though.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just confusing with. If I am sorry. But I could have swore he was a Genji player. But hey, get you. I don't know how he plays on tank, but I know Knife and I know what did we say? Irony are both very solid players. So I'm excited for that. Excited for a turnaround in Vegas, man.
Yep, I would like to see them at least beat Valiant. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say I don't have anything against both those teams. It's just Valiant's the one up them. There's Vegas, which is the worst, and Valiant's almost the worst. So if Vegas can just not be the worst once, that's a victory in my eyes for him. So we'll see how it goes with them.
What other roster changes we got?
Oh, so it's all for Vegas. Let me move this around. We covered this. Boston's a simple change. Their head coach Dongsu, I might be very much mispronouncing that, has left the team, or leaves the team. I don't know. It doesn't say why. It's just he just clearly states leaves team. Don't know where he's going. Don't know what's happening. Have no idea. Moby Dick joins as head coach. Dick. I don't like. Okay, whatever. Moby Dick's a support player, or was a support player. He's a coach now, of course. He played for Philadelphia Fusion.
I believe he has some ties. I don't remember exactly what players he has ties to.
And Defiant.
You said Defiant?
Yeah, he played on Toronto Defiant and Philadelphia Fusion.
Maybe he has some roles with Twilight or somewhere in there. I should have done a little more research on that. I do apologize. But I mean, hopefully we know Boston can be good.
He's been a coach for all those teams, not just a player.
Okay, yeah, so he has a good chance of knowing.
He stepped up from coach to head coach for Boston. Okay, that's what's going on.
Okay, so he was already a part of that as an assistant. Then he just stepped up to head.
It looks like that.
Okay,
it looks like that's what's going on.
Maybe
never mind. Okay, I'll read it word for word. Okay. Moby Dick joins as head coach. Head coach Dongsu leaves team, so he might have joined, but he might have just stepped up and they just worded it that way.
It's just how they put it down.
So I'm not actually sure, to be honest.
We all know Boston could be a good team.
Yeah,
they have the roster for it, and they've shown sparks of being what we all expected them to be when we seen the roster announced.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Hoping with this head coach change that this can motivate the team and move them forward to where they honestly should be. I think everybody's seen that team going into the season like, well, that's the team to beat. That's them.
I did just realize this also follows where their assistant coach Jitset leaves the team a month ago. So it looks like they've just been switching the coaching around, which I've heard bad things about Jitset. I think we talked about last time on podcast about why they didn't like playing for him.
Yeah.
They don't say. I haven't heard anything about Dongsu. Maybe he just leaves the team for other reasons, his own personal stuff. And Moby Dick just joined as head coach. Coaching can matter a lot. Boston can be good, like you said, and this could be really good for him. It really could.
I hope so. Boston has a lot of likable players. they're kind of seen as the old men of the league, and I don't really get that because they're still all so great. Should be considered a super team, but isn't, and they haven't played up to that standard either, which I get. But just maybe this changing of the coaching gets, because if it's just not working, there's certain player, like any sport, you might not want to get up and play for that coach. And I'm not saying anything bad about their previous coach, because I don't know, I wasn't there, but breath of fresh air could be just what they need going into the second half of the season to actually, push them to where they should be.
And it looks like Moby Dick has been on a lot of teams, so it looks like he's probably learned. With that being said, he's probably learned and picked up a lot of things on his way through. He went from like Energy 8 Sports O2 Blast to like pro team coaching, and then like finally a head coach for Boston. Like he could have picked up a lot of things and have a lot of stuff to actually teach.
Right.
So I don't. It doesn't show for him to be anywhere close to like bad at his job here.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe. Hopefully it's good for him. That's all the changes for Boston. It's just the coaching.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I understand why teams actually has good enough players. There's no need to really change them around. They have 3 DPS, 3 supports, and 2 tanks. If they need to change around, it's
motivation and it's the organization itself.
Yeah, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
We can. Okay, so Spark has had some changes too. The Hangzhou Spark. June 24th, 20, and head coach RUI. It's just RUI is capitalized. I don't know how do you pronounce that. Lead the team. So 20 and Yui, I'm guessing both coaches. Assistant coach Creed is promoted to head coach. 20 was a is he a player?
I've heard the name before.
20 was a player for Hangzhou Spark, I guess.
I'm assuming it's a similar situation.
Oh, he was a tank.
Was he?
He was a tank. Yeah, he was a tank for the Spark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. I knew I heard the name somewhere before.
I guess, I mean, Gushue is the only one I keep thinking of that plays Spark for tanks. I just forget him. Then the head coach, Ryu.
It uses RUI.
RUI, yeah.
I guess Rui, because I know of another basketball player with Rui.
Yeah, so like he leaves. So, and then the assistant coach Creed promoted to head coach. So it's just a coach rotation basically. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a swap. Ain't no telling why it's for. Nothing's been released about anything bad or anything like that. So like, could just be personal reasons or like they just want a fresh change. Could be anything. Right. I wish the best with them. Absolutely. Same as Boston's coaching. And hopefully 20 gets picked up on a contenders team or a pro team.
Here's to hoping.
I mean, like, only thing I can think of is Gushue, but at the same time, I think it's because Gushue's always played. 20 might have just not had the chance and just didn't like it anymore. It's like, I don't want to be on a team I don't play for, you know what I mean? Could be any reason. Could be anything. But all the best to all of them. Shanghai.
This is a
Dragon. Fate joins the team.
They get actual tank player.
Yeah, actual tank player. Fleta moves from tank to assistant coach.
Yeah, I think Fleta had enough. He's enjoyed his time. He could come back to playing. I don't know exactly what this all means, but I think he's tired of Moon's crap making him play
tank.
Yeah, making him play tank after him being a DPS his entire career.
You mean the Fleta deadlift doesn't work? Tell me that.
Not on a roll. He's never. It was an experiment. You know, they let him cook and it burnt.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunately what it is. I don't know how this, we'll see. Assistant coach Fleta. It's weird to think that because he was such a force as a player.
Mm-hmm.
So it is weird. But I'm glad they get an actual tank. I don't think this changes anything for them exponentially. I'm not seeing them as like a good team per se. Not any disrespect that way, but
they definitely needed to change because they did lose two contenders teams in their bracket
yeah,
to go
absolutely.
to Madness. So like, something's not working. You can't lose two different contenders teams. Yeah. And be like, the team's working fine. Like, no, it's not. Fleta has been amazing in the past, though. He's literally like, he's been
SMVP Fleta.
Yeah, he isn't he like a world, not a world champ, but like
he's a world champion.
Yeah, world champ. Yeah. He's played in the World Cup before. Everything. Like he's literally.
He's a decorated high skill player, and I'm wondering if he's just ready to move on to a behind the scenes thing. Because you could have easily slid him to a DPS player if that's what he wanted. But I'm guessing he's wanting to move on to the next step in his career.
Feels like he's built up a loyalty to Shanghai Dragons and doesn't want to leave it. Like would like to be more part of like the organization itself. Which, if that's what he wants,
hey, more power to him.
Yep, like I hope the best for him. But he's the assistant coach. They just gained one. They didn't lose anything. They just gained Fate, and he moved to a different position. So hopefully it works good. I think Fate has a good record of being.
He does. Yes, he's a solid player.
Yeah.
Just hoping for the future of
Shanghai. Let's see how that goes. They definitely need to pick it up how they've been, because if the Vegas changes actually impact, Shanghai might be the worst in the league. So we'll see how that goes.
They don't want to get back to the Owen forever Shanghai days of old.
Yeah, and that came out yesterday. That news. Hopefully that's it for Shanghai. All we have is Washington, Toronto, and Vancouver. Actually, I think Toronto we covered last week.
We did.
Just the Spectra and Opener joined the team.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I have that pulled out just because it was 8 days ago. I'm like, just in case.
Right. No, it never hurts to refresh.
Yeah, but Spectra and Opener joined the team. So a new DPS player and support player for him. Hopefully it works great. They definitely needed it. More power to him. But since we covered it, we can move on to Washington. I think we covered FD God leaves the team and Don Kim joins the team. So they have a new support player. Just covering the basics. Best of luck to FD God and whoever else.
He's playing well in the World Cup right now.
Yep. So hopefully it's all good. And I think that's all the changes. I just would want to make sure because those are like 7-8 days ago, and just like maybe we missed one thing.
Nothing wrong with touching all bases.
Yep, and that leaves Vancouver Titans.
It definitely. I don't want to go. I was telling him beforehand. I don't want to go into too much detail about it because it's a very nasty situation. If anyone who has Twitter, I'm sure you all do, or anything.
I would love to break the news.
Well, you would like to tell?
Not why, but Aspire has been due to allegations coming against him that you can go figure out. He has been released from the Vancouver Titans and the USA World team.
A big hole for Vancouver, unfortunately.
They have one DPS player,
and he's solid. We love sugar-free death. This is a sugar-free podcast, and I'll stand on that.
They have to pick up a DPS player. They literally cannot play. They don't have anyone. You can just send in their coach. It's the only hope they have right now besides picking up a DPS player. That's why you have.
They missed out on O2 though too, the flash sale. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I think we talked about it. Top Dragon and them are available. That's all speculation. There's nothing linked to them currently, but this all came out earlier today.
Yeah.
And it's a very disgusting situation. Like I said, we're not going to go into it, but if you want to look, it's all out there if you want to go look into it.
Yep. I'm sure we can point to sources like ATP Overwatch covers it.
Absolutely.
He's good. You can also cover like the teams on Twitter,
Yeah.
like Vancouver Titans, the Team USA, all that stuff. It's all allegations at the moment. I recommend you go and look at it. I know on Twitter they do have like more information and more concrete evidence about stuff. I don't like accusing people of things unless it's like of course, it's the innocent to proven guilty, but there are things happening that are kind of pointing to guilty. So
yeah,
you go look, research yourself, and come to conclusions you think is best for you and why. But it's I just am just upset that Vancouver doesn't have a team.
because Vancouver was like the wonder boy of the league. I don't think anyone hated them. Everybody was wanted to see them do well.
I was hoping so much for him because I like Sugar Free. I think Crimzo, Faith, and Punk aren't bad. This is like a team that's like maybe like I wouldn't be mad, but now it's like I really hope the best for the players, and I want a good fit for them to have to at least come back and be like,
because I don't want them to your confidence for sure.
They're dedicated, basically hit scan players, no more, and it's like I don't want Sugar Free because I feel like what's gonna happen. They're just gonna pick up whatever they have to because you have no choice.
Yeah, you get that or you just forfeit games. I assume. I don't know how it works.
Yeah, like the only thing I think of they forfeit games or send in their coach to fill in that DPS or switch off different people to different roles, and it's like at that point that's just gonna make the other players look bad because they're good at what they do. I don't think Sugar Free. Don't get me wrong, I think Sugar Free could, but it's gonna look worse if you just switch to hit scan and it's hopefully someone else switches something. Like it's gonna. They had a groove set up. They had everything what they needed to do set up, and
they had a decent first half, looking to a promising second half. That has just been completely the train derailed and then blew up.
I don't even know who they could pick up without like going for people that's been dropped on other teams. Like I'm sure any of the Vegas people can be picked up, and I'm sure like there are contenders team members that be picked up. But like
Dragon and a couple other players from O2 are free agents.
Now.
This could be a shining, you know what I mean, an opening for them. But then again, at the same time, it's just a mess, man. I
mean, they need to find a permanent player. This is not like I'm sure they can sign someone short term, like hey, this is like a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day contract kind of thing. But they still need to literally scout a permanent player now, and that's gonna be hard because you got to literally scout mid-season to be like who's gonna be good enough to come in mid-season and be like and be a good fit
in some way because this team isn't bottom of the barrel. This team's looking. No. I don't think I mean, every team has some sense of championship aspirations, but I don't see this team winning championship at the same time. I see them wanting to be competitive. You know what I mean? Crimzo's bounced around the league a hot bits. Punk has always wanted to win. Sugar Free finally gets his chance in the Overwatch League. This is a team that's hungry, and now you lose your star. I guess you could say. Would you? I mean,
you're dedicated. Yeah. Like dedicated hit scan for sure, which is very important. Like there's not many dedicated hit scans right now because of the meta, and you literally just pulled probably someone that might have been considered like one of the best in the league at the moment.
I mean, he was starting for World Cup. You know,
he was literally He was literally starting World Cup USA. It is bad. At least World Cup, Team USA World Cup did have people to step in. They had reserves to be like, hey, this is a loss of a good player, but like, or this is a loss for the team because they don't have a dedicated player for this. But they have people to step up, be like, hey. But Vancouver doesn't, so.
Very unfortunate.
I mean this is the drawback to why you need to actually keep more than the bare minimum of players.
Absolutely.
You know? Like
you preached about that for the season started pretty heavily.
You can't just be like we're gonna keep because what happens because it happened to Boston. Izuyaki got sick and got like real bad like issues, and I'm glad he's better now. But that if they wouldn't have had someone to step in, it'd been bad. Profit happened. Our Profit took time off, and they had to literally have someone be a temporary contract while he's out, and like you
these
don't
things
want
happen,
those
and
moments
people
to
are
pop
coming
up.
in unprepared.
Yeah, like there should at least be someone that can step up to almost any role on a team, and like I don't know. It is what it is. I'm sad it happened, but I'm sure the league is better now for it, and they're figure out what they need to do, even if they have a rough rest of the season. Best of luck to the Faith, Punk, Crimzo, and Sugar Free. You guys.
This is it's probably deflating. It's probably upsetting. I know it has to be upsetting. Yeah. The only thing you can really do and just band together, make sure kind of keep ties on each other, and you kind of swing harder for the second half.
Yep, they deserve better.
Absolutely.
Hopefully they get better. Because I can see him. I can see him coming back and doing good, but it's just what happens. I think that's all the roster changes for everything.
It's a rather shorter episode, like I told you beforehand. We don't have before, like just between qualifiers. There's not a lot you can speak on outside of records and standings. And then we had some news of some juicy or some disgusting that we, that we're a podcast. We love to speak about the news, but we're not a news network.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna speak on just the game itself from our eyes. And I've been saying this first episode. It's a majority perspective. We're both in the majority of players. We just talk about the game from what we can see and crap like that. We're not insiders. We're just two dudes hanging out.
Absolutely. Everything we say is from our perspectives. We do, of course, listen to other podcasts and other like streamers and players. We don't just ignore the world outside of us or outside the game. We do follow other things, but we still keep it from how we perceive and enjoy everything we like to the game. We try not to let everything influence what we do.
Absolutely. It's a shorter one, but we're coming down. Do you have any hopes for the new season, whether that be the league or the just gaming in general, the game itself?
I hope for meta changes in the league. I hate this Sombra meta. It seems to hurt teams. Even if that means Atlanta stops being number one. In seasons to come, I see Winston getting nerfed and Tracer getting nerfed. Sombra being reworked, which I've already said is going to happen. I hope next season's great, and I hope this mid-season patch is good. I think that's about all I have to say about the game. Oh, the podcast. We do have things. We are gonna plan things for we understand there's gonna be slower seasons or slower weeks, so we're not gonna have much news all the time, especially in when the World Cup qualifiers are over and the league's over. League's over. We're still do stuff, and we'll have things planned. This week it was less of a like I said, we just got off a vacation, so we're more likely gonna have stuff planned for off weeks. But this week it was one of those we'll cover what we cover because we apologize for this being a day late anyway, but we wanted to put something out there to know that we're still here and we're still gonna do stuff. But I think that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, you put things very well, sir. It's always a joy to talk to you, my guy.
It's been wonderful. I've had fun.
It was a great time. I say we'll call it there. Another great episode of Pod-Diff with your host Vex and Tusk as always.
Hi, bye.
We'll leave links to the socials. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe as usual. And until then, we'll see you on the next one.